Hello YouTube, this is Which J Today or DJJ from channel Which J Today coming back to you with another video. And this is an article about Cassidy's take on the Game versus Eminem situation. He says, Cassidy doesn't mind the Game dissing Eminem but won't do it himself. I want to work with Eminem. The veteran battle rapper is regularly asked to assess disses aimed at Eminem. He left a scathing review on Nick Cannon's diss before, so his response to the Game was rather gentle. Talking to an Ugly Money TV host about the Game's recent eye-watering Eminem diss. What, it brought tears to your eyes? Really? Why? It did have some humor. It did have a bit of humor, but the jokes weren't that funny. Cassidy made the same point. You guys should try harder. Well, at the end of the day, if I'm making a diss and I'm waiting for you to respond, I don't necessarily have to come up with the hardest lyrics of all time. I actually have the luxury of being soft and then only responding with something hard when you come back. So that's not really an argument. I mean, I know he understands that because not every battle rapper said, or not every rapper, battle rapper, whatever you want, who had a problem with another rapper said, I'm going to diss you and it's going to be the hardest thing ever right off the bat. That's just simple facts. As to the Game's claim that he's a better rapper than Eminem, Cassidy again is not impressed. Well, at the end of the day, I don't think that you would have to look at one singular song to prove that, hey, that says, hey, I'm better than what you call it, M. What you would look at is the whole body of work and say, hey, does it match, if not straight up surpass M's? And that documentary is a pretty hard album, and M's got about like the Eminem show. So we would have to say which one's a better album, which one has a longer staying value. And then if you're not talking about complete bodies of work, you just want to talk about lyrics, well then we would have to get, okay, let's take some of the hardest Game quotes and let's get the hardest M quotes. The best quotes, because M doesn't have necessarily hard lyrics like that. He's slick and it's got some funny one-liners, but as a hard artist, nah. Like, think of High Noon Cool Gus. He can't go hard like that. Game can, Jay-Z can, Beans can, M can. It's an opinion. I judge everything by the science. They both is nice, but a different type of rappers, different type of feelings. They go into different directions and do different stuff. But M's one of the greatest. If you diss some, you gotta diss them in the right way, with the right information. Because if he comes back at you, it could go crazy. You already seen him go crazy plenty of times. And I think it's quite a stretch to call him one of the greatest rappers. I mean, what would that list even look like? And who would be considered in that list? Who would be excluded? Are we going by lyrics? Are we going by whole full body of work? Are we going by record sales? What are we doing here? Are we, because I mean, Cassidy is supposed to be a hip hop purist, so we would be going by the body of work. But when people make these arguments, they tend to be like, okay, well, let's judge it by album sales, so that this thing and that that's this thing. Cassidy, yes, he is a battle rapper, but he is a hip-hop purist. He understands how to make a song. He's worked on beats. He's doing graffiti. He does dancing. He's an all-around. He understands all aspects. And based upon that, considers all aspects when judging. So what are you what's the metric that you're using to judge now for this situation in particular? Because I don't think you're using the same ruler. Cassidy likes competitive spirit that comes with writing diss records, though. He likes the energy that makes people go as hard on wax as possible and makes them strive to be the best that they can do. Personally, he is not planning to compete with Eminem. He prefers cooperation. Nah, I love M. I've got no reason to diss him. I love Detroit. I love all of them. That's a real hip hop place. I mess with M. He made history so many times. He could really rap regardless of his reason. How you look at him, what he raps into the culture. He's not somebody that's unfamiliar with what's going on. He's super informed, so I don't want to diss him. I want to work with him. I want to meet him. I want to talk to him. I want to bust it up with him, trade information with him. I know a lot of signs I could give him, and I'm sure that there's a lot he can give to me. And since we're so dope, I know that if we're around each other, it would just be more dope what that could come from it. So yeah, what's your thoughts on this? My thoughts is the M, him and the what you call it, Joe Budden. Joe Budden is basically trying to make sure he doesn't go out of business. He doesn't want his ads being pulled from his stream, so he's basically saying, yeah, it was soft and whatnot. When that's not necessarily the metric that we're supposed to be necessarily judging this by. Yes, it has the ability to not be necessarily go hard because it's the first thing that's been done. As things continue to escalate and grow, the more fierce the competition will be, and that's just how hip hop has been throughout the years. Now, some people are hard off the bat, and yes, you can do that, and there's no problem with doing that either. But it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, the game didn't really bring his best. Meanwhile, the person that he's going against didn't do anything at all. So by default, M loses, because it's not like he's some, I don't know, internet guy that came out of nowhere and said, I'm going to diss this person, and this person. And since they didn't respond, I'm obviously better. They were scared of me and I won. This is somebody with a record. This is somebody, I mean, in terms of what you call it, his achievements in hip hop, this is somebody that's actually worked with him. And as Cassidy said, this dude's well informed with what's going on with hip hop, with who says what about who. I mean, the whole idea of him not having to respond because it was soft, well, then that means he really shouldn't have responded to a whole lot of people. Because as Benzino said, M didn't have to respond to me. That was a song that I did that was buried in a mixtape. He didn't have to respond. What you call it? He was also going hard at Nelly when Nelly never even made a song about him. Nelly just said something in an interview, which was actually pretty light. It wasn't savage. It wasn't hard, and he made a diss record on it. So, and then again, M was also making fun of somebody who made fun of him in an interview. I think it was a Hollywood actor. He spent the whole year crying about it. So the idea of, oh, well, it's not hard, so I didn't have to respond to that, it's not really an argument when you respond to things that have been softer, so soft that it wasn't a record. A record didn't even come out of it. So what are your thoughts? Please let me know in the comment section below. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. This is DJ J from Which J Today, signing out.